Have you ever looked at Stonehenge and just thought, how did people, thousands of years ago, with nothing but the most basic tools, create something so massive, so precise, so enduring? Today, we're going on a journey back in time, 5,000 years ago, to uncover the incredible story of how this iconic monument was built. Our story begins not on the Salisbury Plain, but miles away in the Preseli Hills of Wales and the Marlborough Downs. Here, our prehistoric ancestors undertook a monumental task, quarrying the very stones that would form Stonehenge. Forget modern machinery. Imagine men using tools made of stone, wood, and bone. They would search for natural fissures in the rock, hammering in wooden wedges. Then, they'd soak the wedges with water, causing them to expand and split the rock. This was a slow, grueling process. The smaller bluestones, weighing up to 4 tons each, came from Wales. The colossal sarsen stones, some weighing over 25 tons, were hewn from sandstone boulders much closer to the site. Each stone represented an immense investment of time and labor, a testament to the community's dedication. Once the stones were freed from the earth, the next great challenge began: transportation. How do you move a multi-ton monolith across hundreds of kilometers of rough terrain? The journey of the bluestones is particularly astounding. Archaeologists believe they were dragged on wooden sledges, lubricated with animal fat, to the coast. Then, they were loaded onto massive rafts to navigate the Bristol Channel and rivers. It was a perilous voyage, requiring immense coordination and seamanship. Imagine the scene: a flotilla of rafts, each carrying a giant stone, powered by sheer human effort. For the much heavier sarsen stones, the journey was shorter but no less difficult. Hundreds of people were needed for each stone. They laid tracks of wooden rollers, painstakingly moving the sledge forward, inch by grueling inch. It was a procession of raw human power, a community united in a single, epic purpose. Picture the sounds: the groaning of wood, the chanting of workers, the sheer will of a people determined to move mountains. This wasn't just logistics. It was a social event, a massive collective effort that would have bound the community together for generations. After months, or even years, the stones finally arrived at their destination on the Salisbury Plain. Now, the real architectural genius came into play. The site wasn't just a random spot, it was carefully chosen and prepared. The first phase involved digging a large circular ditch and bank, known as a head. Inside this circle, pits were dug to hold the stones upright. Getting a 25-ton stone to stand vertically is an engineering feat in itself. The most likely method involved digging a hole with one sloping side. The stone was then dragged until its base slid down the slope into the hole. Ropes, levers, and a whole lot of muscle would have been used to haul the stone into a perfectly upright position. But the most mind-boggling part, the lintel. Those are the horizontal stones that sit on top of the uprights, forming the famous trilithons. How did they lift a multi-ton stone 20 feet into the air? The prevailing theory is that they built enormous timber platforms or gradually raised the stone on a growing mound of earth and rubble. Once at the correct height, the lintel would be carefully maneuvered into place. And it wasn't just slapped on top. The builders used sophisticated woodworking techniques, carving mortise and tenon joints into the stone. This locked the lintels securely to the uprights, a bit like ancient Lego, ensuring the structure's incredible stability. The level of precision is astounding, suggesting they had a deep understanding of geometry and engineering. So, why go to all this trouble? What was the purpose of This is where the mystery deepens, and the theories are as fascinating as the structure itself. For a long time, it was believed to be a temple for Druid ceremonies, but we now know Stonehenge predates the Druids by 1,000 years. A more compelling theory is that it was a vast burial ground. The surrounding area is dotted with hundreds of burial mounds, and human remains have been found at the site itself, suggesting it was a sacred place to honor the dead, perhaps a monument to the ancestors of a ruling dynasty. Another powerful theory revolves around the sun. Stonehenge is perfectly aligned with the movements of the sun, particularly the stasis. On the summer solstice, the sun rises directly over the heel stone, casting a ray of light into the heart of the circle. On the winter solstice, the sunset is perfectly framed by one of the main trilithons. This suggests Stonehenge was a sophisticated astronomical calendar, a way to mark the changing seasons. For an agricultural society, knowing when to plant and when to harvest was a matter of life and death. Stonehenge could have been the center of huge seasonal festivals, where the entire community would gather to celebrate the turning of the year. There are other ideas too. Some researchers believe it was a place of healing, a prehistoric lords where people traveled from far and wide seeking cures for their ailments. Evidence of injury and disease in the remains found nearby supports this idea. Others suggest the incredible acoustics of the site made it a center for music and ceremony, the stones amplifying sound in a unique and powerful way. The truth is, it was likely all of these things and more, not just a single-purpose structure, but a multifunctional complex that served as the spiritual, social, and scientific heart of its community for centuries. Today, as we walk around the stones or see them in pictures, we are looking at the culmination of centuries of work, guided by a vision we can only guess at. Modern science, from archaeology to geology and forensic analysis, continues to peel back the layers of this ancient puzzle. We can analyze the chemical signature of the stones to confirm their origin. We can study the isotopes in the teeth of the buried skeletons to learn where they grew up. Each new discovery brings us a little closer to the people who built this wonder. Stonehenge is more than just a pile of rocks. It's a symbol of human ingenuity, cooperation, and our eternal quest to understand our place in the cosmos. It reminds us that even with the simplest tools, extraordinary things can be achieved when people work together towards a common goal. It stands as a silent, powerful testament to the ambition and spirit of our distant ancestors, their legacy written in stone for all time. What do you think was the main purpose of Stonehenge? A calendar, a cemetery, a place of healing? Let me know your theories down in the comments. I'd love to read them. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, and subscribe to the channel for more adventures into the past. See you in the next one.